and he wound up booking a series of shows featuring the McGuire twins, and one of their opponents was Bob Sweetan.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about what Sweetan did with these McGuire twins?
If you're watching the video, look at the face of this dirty bastard. What a horrible human being. Convicted of child molestation. You know, he got deported from America back to Canada. I think he was from Vancouver in that area, British Columbia. But he was a bully. It's plain and simple, really simple. And the McGuire twins were in the business because of they were an oddity. They were 600 pounds. They're identical twins. But here's the key thing. They sold tickets to come see these massive twins. And remember the shot, Conrad, of those two guys in those little scooters?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That was a picture we used all the time in these local markets. So you could get, I would do a thing where I would send them the picture and caption it so that they couldn't screw up the ticket sales or the date and time, venue, place, whatever. Right there it is. Good job. Look at old Silva. He's right on top of things. But I don't know which one's which. They both had Y's. Figure that out. You do the math on that deal. I think they were Canadian ladies. So Billy and Benny, I think they were from South Carolina originally, I believe, somewhere in the South. But Sweetan would take liberties. I mean, he'd slap him in the face hard, cuff his hand, hit him in the ears, squeeze here, squeeze there. I refereed the matches because I was I didn't want to increase my payroll.
Right.
So I did the refereeing, and I had a ring crew. So we put the ring up. I did as much as I could do. And he was just being a bully. And I've refereed matches, Connie, where literally in the middle of a match, you could hear them weeping. They were scared. They were being physically punished. And I remember back in those days, we had these tag matches. They were so fat they couldn't even stand on the apron. So it's always like the old Texas Tornado tag-like scenario where, they started out in the ring and stayed in the ring. So, but they blow up, God, and just horrible. I felt so sad for those guys. One time, we're selling out of these little high school gyms. Sweetan and Siegfried Stanky, whose real name was Bill Lehman. He was a former college football player down in Texas and a coach, and nice man. He wasn't a party to Sweetan's horse shit. So I remember at one night we had a great house. Things were good. And then I would call Leroy at his home, and he and I would go over the payoff. So I would have a thought in my mind about what the payoff should be. Leroy would up it or down it or what have you. And so we'd do that deal. It was cool. But man, oh man, I went back into, they were crying, and of course the next thing you hear out of their mouth, Connie, is they want to quit.
Right.
We're going home. Well, I had a lot of shows booked, and they were headlining them all. And I went down to talk to them, and they were both naked in the shower. And so I remember I go in the shower, stay out of the water, and I'm trying to offer them an inducement of more money. We'll give you a food allowance, whatever. And so one of them meekly says to me, "Jim, will you wash my back?" Why, sure I will. So I washed the McGuire's back to get them to stay in my little spot show thing. And I figured the solution is going to be real easy. Get them different opponents. And, but Sweetan was a prick, a horrible man, and I was always surprised that he was a good worker. I'm not going to take that away from him. He was a good heel for Cowboy to beat up in competitive matches. And Sweetan loved to get blood, and Cowboy loved to give it to him. So, but he wasn't Cowboy's kind of guy. We talked about that. I said, Bill, why the hell did you keep that son of a bitch around? Well, we had nobody better. It's a team thing. He was a key player. So anyway, it was interesting times, Conrad. You got to be a little bit of a psychologist. You got to be a good listener. And it was just a interesting time to be JR in that era as a young 20-something-year-old guy trying to learn. Hell, I had been on the road. I was learning something every single day.